Good afternoon, guys. It's working, bringing you a quick update on EOS. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at EOS to the US dollar. This is the 4-hour chart on Bitfinex, guys. And last time we spoke, EOS was trading within this range, right about $5. I told you if it broke down, we're going to be watching this demand zone between 4.73, 4.67. That's exactly what happened. Price broke down, hit that demand zone perfectly, consolidated sideways for about 12 hours, then ended up breaking right back up. Filling some buy orders, we got back above this trend line here. I do believe these two trend lines are somewhat relevant. It's acted as resistance quite a few times here. Resistance, 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 resistance. Also acted as support. Acted as resistance initially coming up, came back down, acted as support, and then bounced right back up, guys. So I do believe that more than likely we're going to see some consolidation here in the short term. I wouldn't be surprised to see us trade in this range, possibly between this 5.45 and 4.96. If you wanted to play this market, guys, quick scalp trades, a decent risk to reward in my opinion. If price does come into this zone between 5.30 and 5.45, play a quick scalp. Shorting down here to $5 would be a decent risk to reward. If price does break above this trend line here, I think more than likely we're going to be eyeballing this range up in here at about 5.80. This is going to be a very, very strong resistance area, very strong resistance in my opinion if price ever does come in here up into this block. That'll be a major test for EOS. For now, we're nowhere near there. Would expect sideways movement, possibly coming back down to test this 4.96 support. And as I told you guys last time, if we zoom out here to the weekly, we can see, guys, that the last 4 weeks in a row, price closed at or above on the weekly chart, just 4.96. Even though we wicked through it, we had earlier wicked through. I thought that price was going to close below this. It didn't. Bulls were able to push it back up. It's a very bullish sign, at least in the short term, that they are still in this fight. Assuming this candle closes above 4.96, guys, again, that's going to tell me that the bulls are still in this fight. If for some reason it does break down, we've got about 5 hours left in the day. If this does end up breaking down, guys, that's going to be a very bearish indication, but I don't believe it's going to, at least not today. Coming out here to the daily, as I said, guys, we bounced right off this zone, 4.73, 4.67. I do believe sideways movement is likely for the next 24 to 48 hours. At that point, guys, my bias is we're going to break down, possibly test this zone again, possibly create a double bottom. If this 4.67 does break down, we're going to be watching 4.50. If we come back here, look at the daily, we can see that's been a strong resistance, or excuse me, support area in the past. We can see the body closed at or above this 4.50 many times. We can see price came down, wicked right at 4.50, right back up. So I do expect that to act as a very strong support. If that does break down, there's a tiny bit of support at 4.28, but more than likely, if 450 breaks down, we're going to come down to this order block between $4 and 3.50. If we zoom out here on the daily chart, guys, we can see that looking at the bigger picture, this is a very relevant zone. We're testing this very, very relevant demand zone down here. We can see that price may come down, and here's where that $4 and 3.50 demand zone was created all the way back in December. If that does break down, there's barely any support below that 3.50. That being said, I do not expect that to break down. If price does get down there, and I'm not saying it's going to, but if it does, that's going to act as a very strong support zone in my opinion, and that'd be a must buy. My buy orders are stacked between $4 and 3.50. They have been since price was down here. Again, I don't know if they'll ever get filled, but if price ever does get down that low, I would absolutely have fiat on the side so you can take advantage of that low price. Not saying not to dollar cost average in now. It's not a bad idea to start dollar cost averaging in, but have some fiat on the side just in case we come much lower, which probability tells me there's a very good likelihood that we will. Now, if we do break above this ascending trend line here, as I said, I think we're going to start eyeballing this demand, or this resistance area up here between $6 and 5.80. If price can come up here, this would be a very good area to short, in my opinion. Very quick scalp trade, again, targeting possibly, and again, I would not get greedy here. Guys, do not get greedy. Only play short scalp trades here and there, if at all. And if you're not comfortable, then I would suggest just staying out of the market at this point in time. But if you're looking long, by long I mean 6+ months, or if you want to play some quick scalps here and there, this would be a decent area to short. My opinion, targeting about 4.50, no lower than that, with a very, very tight stop loss. Same up here, guys. If you wanted to scalp this, if and when price does come into this order block between 5.30 5.45, that'd be a decent short targeting this this $5 range, somewhere thereabouts. Very, very tight stop loss, though, as I said, guys. Looking back down. If and when this 4.96 does break down again, as I said, I think we're going to come back down, retest this zone. At that point, I think there's a high probability that that's going to break down, and we're going to test this 4.50 zone. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, guys, there's a very good possibility that that may happen, and you want to be ready for it just in case it does. Looking at our RSI, coming into the 4-hour, we can see the sorry guys. There we go. We can see the RSI just broke above this descending resistance line here. That's showing some strength here, at least in the short term. Now, granted, this is only on the 4-hour. However, that is showing some strength, and it does tell me that there's a high probability that we're just going to get some consolidation as it kind of broke that short-term bearish trend. The long-term bearish trend is still there, but that did break that short-term bearish trend here. And as I said, guys, I think consolidation is probably more than likely what's going to happen here in the short term. Looking at short positions, guys, we can see they're stacked to all-time highs. That does tell me that market makers have a lot of incentive to bring price up to possibly try to liquidate these shorts. That being said, we look at long positions, guys. Longs, we zoom in here. Longs have started to fall off here in the last few days. Not nearly at the rate that shorts are stacking. However, they are starting to fall off. However, if we come out here, we look at the overall picture of longs. Longs are still stacked relatively high, guys. So we do have kind of a standoff with regard to long and short positions. However, if this trend does continue, if long positions continue to fall and short positions continue to rise, in my opinion, there's a high probability that we are going to get a short squeeze. And if we do end up getting that short squeeze, guys, I think there's a very high probability that we're going to very quickly come up into the top of this zone here. At between $6 and 5.80, but more than likely, guys, there's a high probability where those shorts come in. Those shorts came in right up here. So to liquidate those shorts, they're going to have to drive price up above this prior high. So more than likely, you're going to have to drive price up to about $6.90 to $7 range. So that's going to be a extremely, extremely big short squeeze if that does end up coming into play. And again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, guys, but this thing could turn around very, very quickly. So just, again, guys, I would have fiat on the side. I'd be prepared for almost anything at this point. But more than likely, if this trend does continue, with shorts continuing to stack, longs continuing to fall, then I think we are going to see a short squeeze. However, we're nowhere near that yet. This is just something to monitor here in the short term. We come out here and we look at our moving averages. We can see that price on the daily has got plenty of room to fall. We're nowhere near the bottom of the Bollinger Bands yet, coming up almost in the middle. We're still well below this 8-day EMA. 8-day EMA just crossed below the 21-day EMA on the daily chart here. It's a very bearish sign of weakness. If we can get price to come up above this 8-day EMA, guys, that's going to start to signal that we may start getting a momentum shift, at least in the short term. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. As always, I'd appreciate an upvote or a like or a re-steam, depending on where you're viewing this. Until next time, guys, please trade safe. Take care of yourselves. This is Working. Signing out.